What's up, family? Family. Yeah, tonight, getting y'all backstage access to, what it is, what's going on. I had my women's retreat today, not just women, but trauma's retreat today. I'm in the backstage studio waiting to be on a Let's Talk Family about, how our food is actually killing us. Like our food would be something that actually should be healing us, but it's actually killing us. Childhood obesity, dealing with depression, anxiety, stress. So just tune in and listen to it, man. So just hang with your boy, and relax and chill on this lovely Sabbath. Mhm. Getting that flow, man. Just ready to just allow it to life go, man. Man, I'm wonderful, God. How you feeling this evening? Thank you for having me, brother. Thank you for chilling with the thug on a lovely Saturday evening. And before we get started, man, that's the one to just kill all these roomy in the mind. Thug stands for true heart under God. That what thug stand for, that true heart under God. So just helping everybody embrace that inner thug and is being who they are, naturally and organically. Um, this has been something from me dealing with my own mental health issues and me healing myself through different nutrition, through exercise and actually moving. So the word namaste means the God in me. See, the God is within you. And the thug is the true heart of the God, that the hurt and the trauma that we can use that as fuel to push us through. So by me healing myself, I help other people heal themselves by reprogramming their mind about how they're looking at their past trauma, meaning an injury that happened to them in a psychological way that had them hold on to old emotion that's a low vibration, that's not helping them evolve and evaluate to their higher self. So I took my situation with mental health, bad nutrition, bad breathing, environment. There's so much stuff I was doing to at my detriment. I kind of changed around myself and it felt so good. Like, other people have to feel this. So that started Namaste Thug Wellness, just helping other people feel well within themselves. Mm. So with me, health would be me more looking at nutrition, like what kind of food are we eating? Am I eating whole foods or am I eating processed foods? The fast food, the McDonald's, Burger King, those going to deal with our different emotions. A lot of processed food deal with mental health, anxiety, things of that nature because the food is so dense. So I look at nutrition, but also the main thing I look at is wellness. It's a it's a it's a it's a wider scope that's way bigger than just nutrition. You follow what I'm saying? So when we look at ourselves, like we want to eat organic food and whole food, but we'll give ourselves half of information in bits and pieces. We got to deal with the whole aspects of actually what's going on. So I teach people about the actual wellness, like emotional wellness, your spiritual wellness, your financial wellness, your occupational wellness, your intellectual wellness, your physical wellness, your social wellness, and last, your spiritual wellness. So all these different components of wellness being adjusted and adapted to, or am I just dealing with this one particular thing? So it's a whole encompassing thing of dealing with your moods right now.
Man, you just said a mouthful right there because I am learning more now. Like I've worked out and been into fitness my whole entire life.
Uh
But
huh.
over the past like 5 years, I'm really learning more and more about how health and wellness
Yeah, yeah. You can turn it down
can't
for me a little bit.
separate them, but we really can't separate them because they're not one and the same, but they
Thank you.
encompass each other so much.
Yeah. We don't have anybody actually teaching us the value of nutrition in school. You know, they telling us milk is good for our body, eating carrots, but that's something that somebody else told them.
Right.
Um, and then in our community, we're not talking about mental health and things of that nature. The men talking about emotions. We talking about how to get women. Um, if we lucky, how to change a tire. We're not talking about how to communicate. We're not talking about how to feel. We're not talking about how to heal. It's time for that. So with
Right.
me being in my pressure that we got an invisible man card that if I show my emotions, show them soft, like I'm not a man. So that's killing us on the inside, bro. And to making
Right.
us do so many different um unhealthy behaviors is atrocious, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely atrocious.
Let's before we get too deep dive into that, because I feel like we're gonna spend a good piece on that. Let's
Uh
talk about nutrition, man, because because as we focus this on Black History Month, and we look at the traditions that we pass down and heredity, that nutrition piece is something that we're just now starting to grasp and understand a lot of things.
facts.
Uh, like you just said earlier, eating whole foods. I'm gonna be honest. I just watched something yesterday and finally understood why you're gonna eat whole foods. Because if you eat all that processed food,
Yeah,
it weighs heavier on your body, and
yeah.
because when we eat, it takes so much effort and energy to digest, and so you can't think straight, you can't move well.
Hmm.
So if you have all that dead stuff in you, it's gonna take more out of you to function.
And that's what they call the itis. Like when you eat, they say we got
Yeah.
the itis. You feel what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's the itis. So with me understanding that now, I'm damn near a vegetarian or vegan. Today I had a whole session with the food I ate. My body didn't need to stop and break that food down because it could already identify what it was because it's a whole food. It takes the body long to identify with a food it can identify with. So I need time to break this food down because it's not a whole food. It's hurting my body. When you eat
Yeah.
whole live food, you don't need that time to sit down and so-called catch the itis. You follow me? So we
Yeah.
need to catch the itis. Now that means you eating a dense food. So now my body need all the energy it needs to digest that food. So now we call it the so-called itis or niggeritis. No, that's not what it is. Like it's a
Right.
bad diet. If your diet making you sleepy, that means it's too heavy for you.
It's funny you say that because I have a few obsessions that I'm trying to let go as I get older
Uh
and
huh.
more knowledgeable. And one of them is pancakes on a Saturday morning. Like that's my go-to. And so I started putting protein in my pancakes. I'm trying to
Uh huh.
get them a little more healthier.
Right.
I put some spinach in there, and I ate it. And for like the next 2 hours, I was in here in my office working, but like this. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
it took so much time to process that,
Yeah.
and it was weighing on everything else I was trying to do. And that's when I realized I gotta back this up even more. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Yeah. And then like during the week, I pack my lunch and eat my lunch and eat little bits, the 5 servings like you're supposed to do, based on I follow a lot of bodybuilding stuff. They talk about the 5 portions each throughout the day,
Mm-hmm.
and when I do that, I eat less food and feel fuller
Mm-hmm.
longer, and it's
Mm-hmm.
just the little stuff that we learn that we got to relearn.
Of course, of course, of course. Because and that's the secret to it is portion control. And when we understand portion control, that that helps our body regulate a food coming in. So now it's going to release them fats. It's not going to go in starvation mode like, oh my God, I don't know when next time I'll eat. So let me hold on to everything I got. You want it, it's going to help you release that because in that fat, it's an energy too. So when we release that fat, release the energy because whatever that animal went through, cruelty or whatever, not, when we digest that, we become that animal in an emotional way. So now we behave in an animalistic way because the food we consuming. And going back to what you said, I love having a cheat day. So if you're gonna eat your pancakes, as long as you eating pancakes and doing what you're doing and working off, that's cool. It ain't about being perfect. It's about centering yourself. It's not about balance, it's about centering yourself. So you can do that, but just make sure you're doing enough to work it off, not just sitting on top of it, and you'll be fine.
Well, see, that was the problem. I overindulged in a number of pancakes.
Oh man, you overate, huh?
Yeah, I had, I like the big ones, you know what I'm saying? I had like
Yeah.
5 or 6 of them. So
Mm.
they was thick and they was heavy. And yeah, man, I'll tell you what, you trying to process food and read homework and write
Yeah.
papers, it don't
Gotcha.
work too
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. No doubt. No doubt. No doubt. No, but see, with me, it's like my mental health was a blessing to me because it kept me so sensitive. I couldn't cheat that bad because I would automatically feel in a slumber, and then my main thing would do was how can I get out this slumber? And I
Right.
realized it was nutrition. Like if I'm eating, like I'm going to McDonald's, getting a double quarter pounder, no onions, fries, no shit, fries, no salt and a large Sprite with no ice every Friday, every other day because it's quick and fast. So now, how does it help me emotionally? Now I'm getting the hereditary diabetes, the high blood pressure. I'm dealing with stress based on this low density food that based on primary meats, and then we're getting fake fruits that don't even have seeds in it. So everything we eat is plastic. Even though we're eating fruit, it's not a real fruit because it's lacking seeds. So all this seedless stuff like you eating something plastic, so now your body can identify with it. So now you're not actually absorbing the nutrients in it. So it's hurting more than helping.
Yeah, yeah. That those nutrients
Mm-hmm.
is what we really need to be focused on and paying attention to, not necessarily because for years I was focused on. Cause like last year, my stomach did its own thing,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. And so I just eliminated a lot of stuff from my diet, slowly but surely, so it won't shock my body. And what I realized is, when you put the nutrients in your body and not just try to get full, it makes a big difference.
Yes, no doubt.
You can actually eat less if it's not condensed, but dense nutrition,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
feel fuller. I that was last year was the first time I understood that to be true. I've
Mm-hmm.
heard it, but I experienced it last year, and it was phenomenal. And you feel better when you get the right nutrients in your system.
Facts.
Yeah,
Facts. And then on all of that, mental clarity.
yeah,
And then on top of it, you when you have something to do, you actually do it. You're not procrastinating. You
yeah,
sleep better. You become a better person. You are able to tolerate people a whole lot different because you're loving yourself by the food you eat. And yeah, it's a higher vibration. You become a different person. You transform. That food is powerful. That's why I tell people, eat to live, don't live to eat, and kind of understand. So I teach people about what type of foods help, what type of foods hurt. I even go to the point where let's look at your blood type and eat based on your blood type. So that's specifically for you and not like a fad diet type because what's good for Tom might not be good for Billy. What's good for Billy might not be good for you. Because I went to skincare class, so I know that people with melanin skin, different people with non-melanin skin. So we're good for Billy might not make good for Tony. You feel what I'm saying?
yeah,
So Tony
yeah.
gotta do what's good for him based on his DNA structure and not everybody else, but that comes from knowing thyself. And once you kind of know yourself, you understand like what's gonna help you and what's gonna hurt you. And food is our number one killer right now.
And that's one of the everything you just said is one of the reasons why diets and bad diets
Mm-hmm.
are
Mm-hmm.
so inconsistent and
Yes.
don't work.
Yes.
You know, because a nurse friend of mine last year, as I was talking to her about my stomach, she was the one that introduced me to eating by your blood type,
Mm-hmm.
and I started paying a little more attention to that, and it's been right.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it really has been
Yeah.
right. I mean, I have gone this year with a much better digestive system than I've had in a long, long, long time. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and so I'm learning more and more. And this is stuff that I've been paying attention to my whole entire life, but never really took it serious until my health decided that I needed to take it serious. You know, and the nutrients are very, you know, your body craves it. And let's talk about drinking water like that. So I am a water drinker. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I've been drinking water my whole life. I barely drink anything else but water.
Mm-hmm. So
So when
you're a heavy water drinker, huh?
I am. I'm at a gallon a day, and I'm trying to increase. You know, and when I don't get that gallon, I feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
feel it. I feel it.
Mm-hmm.
I can look at people's skin and tell if they're drinking water or not.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right. Right. The hydration. The
Yeah.
hydration. Man, 'cause you
I,
know, a slight form of dehydration will give you mental fog just by not drinking enough water. So I tell people the formula is take your body weight, divide that by two. Whatever number you get from that, what you divide, drink that many ounces of water per day. That's half your body weight in ounces per day to keep your body, give your body enough liquids to flush. Because a lot of people have irritable bowels, are not irritable bowel, they FOS full of shit because they go to the bathroom enough. Really, like my sister went to a doctor and he gave her a prescription. She was full of shit. Like, so she had literally had to go to the bathroom and move. So, like, she's another reason why I do group fitness now because I realize you have to move. You have to move. That body has to stay in movement. If you don't, the first thing your body get rid of is muscle. So releasing muscle is gonna put fat. Fat
yep.
fuels the system so much better, so it won't them fatty food. And then now we become a drug addict because the number one. Let me ask you you're a very intelligent dude. What you think the number one drug? What you think the number one drug is in America?
Sugar.
Right. So when
Yeah.
we on sugar, we get the same hit like cocaine is.
Yeah.
So it's everywhere in the world. So 115 ounces. Okay, somebody said they drink 115 ounces. Let's go. So when we understand what sugar does to the brain, it can lead to like Alzheimer's because it's the deteriorating factor. If it's white, it ain't right. So we eating white sugar. We got white flour. We got white bread. Not I ain't gonna say
White rice.
white rice. So we want something with color in it because when it's so white, it's refined. The more it's refined, it's not natural and organic. Your body has to identify what it is before it break it down. If it can't identify with it, it's a foreign object. Now we got a
Okay.
dis-ease in
Okay.
the
So
body.
hold on. Let me cut you off right there because you said that statement a few times. Let us explain what you mean by your body has to identify you. You said
Okay.
it a couple times, but the viewers may not understand what that means. So
Okay.
what do you mean by your body has to identify?
So identify meaning it has to be natural and organic, meaning if we saying we eat let's say we want whole wheat, we want something whole. I want the whole grain. I don't want half of the grain. So if it's a half a grain, it's not natural. So I want whole wheat. I don't want half of the wheat. So if I got half of the wheat, the body's saying, hey, where's the rest of the wheat? We can't identify with it. I need the whole thing to identify with. So I can't have a part of this and a part of that. It's not natural, it's not organic. Your body needs whole food to identify with. So you go to McDonald's, Burger King, we might eat a Whopper. I had an impossible Whopper the other day. Your body can't identify with that being real food. So what it do is it turns to a little fat pudge around your stomach. That what happens. Your body,
So so you're telling me the the trend that's going on right now with the veggie burgers, your body does not identify.
I'm gonna tell you this right here. Like for the last month, I've had somebody come in my house and cook me vegan food, right? High alkaline food. Now, before this happened, I was going to Burger King getting the 10 for 10. I was getting the fish and I was getting the Impossible Whopper. It tastes like honey in my mouth. Like for the last 30 days, I had somebody cooking vegan meals for me for 30 days straight. When I went there yesterday and tasted it, it tastes like air to me. My body couldn't identify with it. It wasn't a whole food. It was under assumption. When you start cooking your food, start juicing, and I start getting smoothies, your body identify with whole food. It's like it's an imposter. Get it out of here. No, I don't want it. Like your body ain't gonna receive it like that. Once you show it the clean way of eating, once you identify, once you introduce your body to whole food. Hold on one second, the plane going over. We in Loveland, Florida, baby. You know, hey, the world is my office, man. That's my jet coming to get me. I got 15 minutes before I leave it, bro. Yeah, like I was saying, man, we need the whole grain to identify with it. Same way you go to a club. If you're not 21, you can't get in. Your body the same way. If you're not a whole food, you can't get in. But we force it. Okay, we're gonna turn you into a fat around the belly and around your stomach. So I look at people's stomach frame and tell actually what's going on with them from food wise, harmonic wise, and everything else based on just looking at you.
So, so our bodies from birth
Uh
know
huh.
what whole foods are.
Say it again.
Our bodies from birth know what whole foods are,
Yeah, we just came from source. Hell yeah, we just
and
came
we
from source.
program
Yes,
ourselves.
we reprogram.
Right, we reprogram ourselves on the processed food or
Yes,
not whole food,
yes,
so we can reprogram ourselves back to balance.
yes. But it's gonna cost you more because you go in the stores right now. It's an economic struggle to eat better because they charge you more
Yes.
for the better food, but it's better for you. So I took a class in nutrition, and it's scientifically proven that if we change our diet, we can live to be 182 years old. They
You
know
said
this.
182.
182 years old. It's scientific proven we can do that. But in 1992, they introduced something called high fructose corn syrup. It's a fake sugar. So
Yep.
from 1992 on forward, that we had childhood diabetes, diabetes 1, diabetes 2. They know what they're doing to push the pharmaceuticals. So once you're saying what's going on, you got to get off them drugs, which is sugar. And now you got to start finding more whole foods, more nutrient dense foods that's actually grown in the sun.
And it's been proven that a lot of cases where changing of the diets have reduced or eliminated certain illnesses and or diseases. You see what I'm saying? Like there's so much scientific evidence on that. And even if you ain't following scientific studies, go talk to somebody because it's been so many people that have changed their diet and inflammation has gone down, sickness has gone down. You know, all kind of illnesses have been eradicated, eliminated,
Mm-hmm.
reduced. You know what I'm saying? In people's lives, just from changing to eating healthier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that medicine. This ain't for this show, but you know, I always say when because you said it costs you more when you eat healthier. I always say the same thing. You can either pay the grocery bill or you can pay the doctor. That's what I say.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, my doctor's appointment lasts, about 20 minutes. You know, yeah, about 20 minutes.
But see, you know what though, bro? Like since we talking about slave food, we gotta look at also a slave mentality. We have a slave mentality when it comes to food because we become so lazy. Like they make it
Yeah,
so easy for us to go get the foolishness and get it a
right.
whole lot quicker. We're not surrounding ourselves with that community of people who understand the value of food. We get around people say, I don't eat this, they picking at you because they're dense their
Yeah,
self. You know what I'm saying? Their lack within them makes you feel uncomfortable around them. So we gotta understand what it's not a war. Just a we dealing with zombies, bro. Like to be honest with you, they're walking around unconscious with an alien inside them, believing that we gotta eat meat. We gotta eat
right.
right here. We got people walking around called breatharian that's living just off breathing. It's the prana in the air. It's not the food. I'm gonna give you an example. You might be right now. You might come home from work. You dead hungry, right? But let your bank go off on your phone, let you that somebody dropped $10.5 million in your bank account. I bet you're not hungry no more. I bet your appetite gone because now that energy has shifted. We feed off
Yeah,
energy. So now you ain't thinking about food. You think about how your life done changed. So your appetite gone. So that shows you the importance of food. You feel me? It's the energy that we feed ourselves because we're energetic beings. So our food has to be full of energy. People that cook our food need to be full of energy. What we eat our food need to be full of energy to feed our energy being.
yeah, yeah. Man, this nutrition thing is a big thing. Now
Of
you talking
course.
about the eight components of wellness.
Yes.
Like, so is that a balance that we should be trying to seek? And
So that's the thing about it. I don't quite understand the word balance. To me, balance is an illusion because to me it's more of a centering. If you ask any billionaire, they don't know what balancing, they know what centering is because when you're an entrepreneur, there's no balance because every day is something different, everything is something new. You
yeah,
growing, so it's a centering in that. So I don't look for balance, I look for a centering in it. I want to center myself and flow with life because the world is my office. Like I'm not in that confine of what they're saying should be, whatever don't fit, cut it off. I'm not me. I'm organically growing each moment. And each time I breathe in my nose, I'm growing.
yeah. You know, when I think about, it's funny you say that. When I think about balance, and I'm gonna use your eight components. When I think about balance, you got the emotional, occupational, social, environmental, intellectual, spiritual, financial, and physical. And what I see is, we haven't seen it in a long time, but the guy that has the pole and the plates, and he's going around, make sure that they all stay spinning so they won't drop.
Yeah.
When I think balance, that's what I'm thinking. That's a lot of work.
But right, but check it with them plates, they're centered. They got to be centered to be balanced.
Right.
So if you're
Yeah.
not centered, you can never be balanced. So if you're trying to maintain balance in an unstable world, you never can achieve that. So let's take the same example. If I got, like, say I'm in the ocean and I got a balancer and the ocean is rough, I'm never gonna be balanced. Life is like this right here. I'm never gonna be balanced. I can be centered. Like, okay, I can find my center where I'm in right here, and my centeredness automatically give me everything that's behind it. So I want to actually look for something I can truly obtain, which is centeredness. I can always obtain balance. Too much work to balance yourself, but I can be centered
So
easily.
explain centeredness then.
Okay, as I'm centered, I'm understanding who I am as an essence. So I'm centered in my essence of joy and love. Love is unity, purity, and virtuous of thought. So whatever happens, I'm not leaving that. So I'm centered. So whatever happens, not gonna throw me off my center. I'm not gonna be overly emotional. I'm not gonna be under emotional. I'm gonna be just how I need to be for that situation to find a solution. So I'm centered in it. I'm not gonna let something outside of me pull me off my centeredness. When I'm balanced, go ahead.
Sounds like it's introspection. I can't say the word. Introspection. I have to know about me and learn about me to find that centeredness.
See, and that's perfect. That's what it is. Most people do something outside to balance themselves, something in the world to balance themselves. Centeredness comes from the core. Most people don't do introspective. They don't do that inner work to understand what's at my core. So most people want to find a balance, and to me, balance is very like it's the tip of the iceberg. I want to go to the base of the iceberg, which is the center, which is the core, and most times it's uncomfortable. That's why I do the Reiki injury to help clean that old. Cause that could be, bro. That could be stuff from you happened 10,000 years ago from your ancestors. I had a goddess today that she had something in her ancestors that happened 10,000 years ago, and she's still holding that emotion within her because it's in your DNA. So you might not deal with, you might not realize you growing through it, but in your DNA level, that's what you're dealing with based on the emotions from your ancestors years ago, thousands of years ago.
So how do we achieve? And I know this is I know you're gonna eat me up for this question, but I'm gonna ask it anyway.
Go ahead,
How
brother. I'm
do
gonna be
we
gentle.
how do no don't be gentle. I want you that's why I'm asking a question like this. How do we achieve wellness?
Oh man, that's a beautiful question. First of all, we gotta become mindful and understand. Hmm. First, gotta understand that we're not well. That's the first thing. We have to accept that we're not well. Like Marcus Garvey said, a slave can only free themselves. If you don't know that you're a slave, no matter what you say, no matter what I say, they're gonna cling to that. So the first thing, becoming aware of what's going on, that I have to look beyond my health. Health just means I'm lacking a disease. So physically, I can look healthy, but inside, I could be suffering within myself. But if I have a checkpoint, let me check my emotional situation. Let me check my environment. My environment is 76% of my behavior. So my environment has a hell of an influence on what I'm doing. Now let me check my finances. If I'm not financially secure, I don't feel like a man. What how am I working? Like what's my occupational? Am I doing what I feel like I need to be doing? Them the first four of wellness right there. Then we go into intellectual. What am I reading? What am I doing to feed my spiritual self? Most people have a spiritual collapse. I was spiritually depressed because I was doing stuff on my power, like, oh, I got this, I'm this right here, another. So I was becoming spiritually depressed. I wasn't reading nothing to feed my intellect, which is my spirit. So now I'm not doing nothing physical to help me in that. So I get my depression kick in. Now I'm just sitting still, ruminating in, oh, I ain't shit. Don't nobody like me. I'm a black man. This, that, another. No, I'm ruminating that. So now I gotta get in my social wellness. Who can I call that's going to allow me to put my man card down and talk about my emotion, talk about my shortcoming without judging me? And now my last one is spiritual. Do I know what I ask you? What am I? I'm a spiritual being. We times focus on so much who I am I, but what am I? If we understand that we are spiritual beings, it's a lot easier to understand actually what we're growing through. It's our experiences that help us grow. We gotta learn to feel them.
So I'm gonna say something to my viewers because I got a lot of Christian viewers,
Okay.
and you're saying a lot of things that Christian viewers may say is contrary to the Bible,
Uh huh.
and I'm a first say you're not. Only thing you're doing is rewording it in different words, but a
Mhm.
lot of stuff that you're saying is in the Bible.
Mhm.
If you look at John the Baptist ate wild honey and locusts. That
Mhm.
was diet. You see what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
so,
Mhm.
it's all throughout the Bible when it talks about, even if you look at, and granted, this is Old Testament Deuteronomy, it talks about the diet and how you should monitor your diet and the heat intake. And even, we're talking about mental health. The Bible speaks tremendously on the mind. Let this mind be in you, which was
Mhm.
also in Christ Jesus. So I know he's not coming from a Christian perspective, but don't run away because everything he's saying is in the Bible.
Mhm.
And so it talks about being balanced, and that's where when we talk about being centered, and we're talking about being uh, uh, centered. I'm going to say balance, but
It's all good, man.
right. When we talk about being centered, it always starts with going back to the essence of who we are, like you're saying, and then
Mhm.
from there, because I'm gonna be honest, a lot of stuff that we're doing right now is so distracting
Mhm.
that it's taken away from us learning our center or where
Yes.
our center is or how to even find our center.
Mhm.
The average attention span of an American right now is 8 seconds. Figure
It's
that
that long? You get them too much.
eight
You get them too much power, brother.
Well,
I ain't know it was that long.
I haven't heard a recent statistic, but that was the last one I heard. That came out with Do It for the Vine, and they
Okay.
were 8 seconds long.
Gotcha.
So it
Gotcha.
probably
Okay.
is a lot less now.
Gotcha. 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 I didn't know that. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Plenty of sense.
that,
Plenty of
that,
sense.
that one came. That's why when the Vine videos came out, they were 8 seconds long because that was the average attention span of America.
So
8 seconds. 8 seconds.
you know what? I totally agree with that because with me, I was labeled bipolar aggressive tendency, ADHD, because the reason why my attention span was so short because you was talking at me and not to me. Now I got plenty of kids I work with that got ADHD. When I talk to them, they'll pay attention to me. They're like, oh, I can't pay attention. Like, bro, you've been paying attention to me for the last 15 minutes because we're not actually giving something that they actually want to know. We're pushing something on them, so they're gonna avoid it naturally. So when you start talking to the essence of what they are, all them labels, it's gonna be gone because it's based on Western society what they think it based on. And no, man, I've been labeled. I don't seen psychologists, and they label me based on their description because it's of our intelligence. We're sometimes we're so wise they think we're dumb and crazy, but it's the opposite of that. So now once you get around people who understand the intellect of what you got going and groom that, you become the next genius, the next prophet that does that because you're being fed and not being shunned. But let's if you look at Yahshua in the book, people thought he was weird. They thought building an ark was weird. All them people was alone by themselves because they had a path that was given just for them, and it was lonely and it was cruel. Even because I'm in the book. So even Yahshua on the cross cried out, God, why me? Even he resisted. Even one of them have a speech impediment, and he didn't want to speak to him. Like, take somebody with me. He made him put his hand in the shirt, in the jacket, made him turn his hand leprous. So I understand what's going on. I'm understanding it definitely is a God, but not the way they're trying to present the way God is. So it's not talking against it, because Christian means the spirit within. So it's about uniting yourself back within yourself, showing that you have the power, that the creator is actually within you. It's not outside of your body. That's the misconception. That is outside you. No, Christ lives within you. This is the book said we live in the temple of the living God, but we don't acknowledge that because the food we eating dense, the music we eating dense. We're around people that's feeding us dense stuff based off fear and lack of knowledge. Lack of knowledge is dangerous. We have us as melanated people, we are the most powerful weapon in the world if we treat ourselves as such. Stop trying to fit into other people's matrix. That's not made for you. It's not made for you, so you never gonna fit in. It wasn't made for you. You were less than a human too long ago.
Man, you said something a while back, a couple seconds ago, and it sent my mind into a spiral. You was like, because we was talking at the beginning of the show about dense nutrition,
Mm-hmm.
and now you're talking about stop feeding yourself with dense people,
Yes.
and I was like, oh my God,
Yeah.
go back to those distractions I'm
Yeah.
talking about. A lot of times, you know, I had to learn because I love music.
Uh-huh.
I love music. And my friends, when I was younger, when I
Mm-hmm.
first joined the military, my friends would get in my car and they would know what mood I was in
By the
by
music.
the music I was playing.
Of course.
Because I always, even to, well, I mostly listen to gospel now, but
Mm-hmm.
back then, I would find the music to the mood that I was in.
Of course.
Or if I wanted to get out of that mood,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
play different music. Like
Mm-hmm.
I listen to jazz, but I
Mm-hmm.
can like I'm too hyper, so I can only listen to jazz when I ready to calm down. I
Gotcha.
can't be amped up and hyped
Mm-hmm.
and listen to jazz because it puts me in this, just sit back in
Mm-hmm.
this chair
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
relax.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I'm driving. Like I can't listen to jazz in my car in the winter because I gotta have the windows down, the sunroof open. It's gotta be blasting loud.
Mm-hmm.
Going down the interstate or the highway because it just takes me to a whole new plane. You know what I'm saying? When I listen, so when you talk about having dense music and
Mm-hmm.
dense people in your lives,
Mm-hmm.
man, that's a whole different perspective
Yeah.
because we are allowing a lot of things in our lives
Mm-hmm.
that are not beneficial to us.
No doubt. No
And
doubt.
some of us even know this.
Mm-hmm.
Some
Mm-hmm.
of us know
Mm-hmm.
this.
Mm-hmm.
You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Like there are some out there that don't know, and I got it. I'm with you. But those of us that know, now that's where the struggle. I don't even want to say the struggle, but that's where the problem is. You
Mm-hmm.
know?
We know with that we are creatures of habit, right? So in
Yes.
order to in order to in order to break a habit, we got to change the habit with something else. So I can know something, but then how do I apply it? Like my first thing I learned how to do was I had to learn how to rebreathe. Like I had to learn how
Yeah,
to.
hold on. Before you go any further, talk about that because I got a book that I follow somebody on social media,
Mm-hmm.
and they wrote a book, and the majority of the book was spent on breathing,
Yes.
and
Yes.
that's okay. So
Yes.
talk about that
Breathing.
breathing
That's
part.
my thing right there. So,
Yeah.
um, so with me having depression issues, anxiety issues, that's a nervous system. That's based on survival mode. So if we breathe in our nose, out our nose, that's in our limbic system or our amygdala. We're dealing with fight, flight, or freeze. So if something happened when I'm in that mode, breathing like that, my body releasing cortisone to either run, to fight or just freeze. Which if I don't use, turn to acid. So now I'm always just by me breathing in my nose, out my nose, it triggers that part of my brain like I'm ready to run, fight, or freeze. If I breathe in my nose, out my nose, that shifts gears to the prefrontal cortex, which is peace, relaxation. Matter of fact, right now, let's do it for a second. So, and what I tell people to do is put the tongue at the roof of your mouth behind your two front teeth. And when you breathe, you want to kind of breathe in your belly button. And as you inhale, you want to act like you're inhaling into a balloon and inflating. As you exhale, you want to squeeze it in. And what I do is I even add a count backwards. Because when I was on my psych med, they told me my med helped me think between my thought and response. So I count backwards. 3, 2, 1, 0. 0 is completion. 0 is with source. So as I'm counting back, I'm getting with source. I'm centering myself with my essence of what I am, and I'm letting my thoughts catch me. So we're gonna do that for like, let's do it for like a minute. I just want you to sit and just breathe in your nose and then relax. And as you breathe in, you want to feel your stomach expand. And as you exhale, you want to relax your shoulders, relax the tensity. Mm-hmm. You want to inhale again. 3, 2, 1, 0. A brief pause. Then you exhale. 3, 2, 1, 0. The same rhythm that we use for music. It's a 4-step and a brief pause. So you're accepting life when you inhale, and when you hold your breath, you're accepting death. So once we accept death, we can live. So it's life and death as we breathe them. So every time you exhale, just feel some part of your body just relax. Don't struggle. Don't inhale too fast. That's the prana in the air that we want to absorb through our brains and through our organs and clean our chakras. So it's the prana in the air we want to absorb in our body. So take your time. Just focus on that belly button expanding and contracting. Mm-hmm. You want to breathe through that sacral chakra, which is that belly button, which is flow, which is flexibility, which is also femininity. Most men don't attach their femininity. They want to be hard and tough. They don't learn how to be soft and flexible. So breathing that sacral chakra, which is orange also too, helps us be flexible, helps us be a lot more malleable, helps us to flow a whole lot better.
And that changed the whole mood right there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's your breathing, bro. Like for it's a life.
Yeah,
It's a lifestyle. It helps you walk.
yeah.
My life is a meditation. Like I'm constantly being mindful of how I'm breathing because I want to make sure that I'm not starving my brain, my organs, or my muscles of any oxygen whatsoever. Because if it do, it builds up lactic acid that hurts. So a lot of time we working out, like I'm a personal trainer too. So if we work out and our muscles are sore, that lactic acid have built up from a lack of oxygen for not breathing. So you got to stretch more to release that lactic acid that's gonna free the muscles. So proper breathing go to the deeper lows of the lungs too. And this to give a short testimony, I I had the COVID when it first came out. And I only reason how I knew I had the COVID because I was ever actually getting ready to go out the country to Jamaica and I take a test and say you got the COVID. Like what? Like I ain't sick. I'm not this because of my breathing. When we breathe properly in the deeper lows of our lungs, that carbon monoxide comes up and our body becomes alkaline. There's no dis-ease that can live in an alkaline body. Overstressing alkalines the body by releasing so much cortisone in the body, making us a lot more sick because it's still on top of your kidneys. And when they keep dumping, it lowers your immune system. So now you're more susceptible to any type of disease situation going on because you're overstressing and it kills your immune system. So you're slowly killing yourself by overly stressing, by the way you thinking and by the way you breathing.
That stress. We ain't even gonna start because that look, we come to the end of the show and we can spend another hour on
Mm-hmm.
stress. But you know, that breathing
Mm-hmm.
helps manage centeredness,
Mm-hmm.
stress,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
self, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's what I learned reading that book that she wrote is about the like she spent a whole entire chapter on what you just said on how to breathe.
So
A whole chapter.
let me cut you off for a second and give you something about stress and anxiety real quick. So let's break it down real quick. Stress is any outside pressure. A diamond needs stress to form itself. So stress is any outside pressure, whatever it may be. Just look at stress as outside pressure. Anxiety is inside pressure. I got something inside of me that's pushing pressures. I need to relieve that inside pressure. So stress and anxiety is only pressure. Is it inside, meaning it's me causing the pressure, or is it outside, meaning something else is causing pressure to me? So once we identify with it, we can breathe and allow it to flow through us without attaching to it emotionally wise. You feel me? So we want to feel it. So now when we allow ourselves to feel what we feeling, I can breathe. We're like, hey, I'm not that feeling. I'm just the person feeling this feeling. I'm the person that's breathing like I feel insulted. Like what part of me feels so it's a self check. So now when like I say it's a stimulus. So let me check myself because I'm feeling something. So once I become centered, I can say, you know what? I'm responding from an emotional standpoint and not my spiritual standpoint. So that breathing kind of helps me stay centered. Where it does, kind of it helps me stay centered. Now I teach people how to breathe and how to feel.
You know that how to feel part is a huge part when we talk about wellness
Right.
because we spend a lot of time, you said it earlier, trying to be something else or somebody else or emulate something else. You know, and there's like you're unique in your own right. I can never be you and you can never be me.
Right.
No matter how hard we try. You know what I'm saying? And that's where we
Pardon
struggle
me.
at, you know?
Now don't worry. It's like like the spirit when I burp like that, it's a releasing. A lot of times we have release from energetic level, and the body acts in a certain way. Now I have a client when I clean energy on her, she both burps just erratically. So a lot of times when we speak, a lot of times men speak about emotion, our throat chakra becomes blocked. When we start speaking your truth, your body releases that old energy. Sometimes it might be gas through your anus, or it might just be burp. So that is a
It's
form of releasing.
it's funny you say that because when I stretch, I when I need to stretch and I stretch, I start. I'm glad I do it at home
Yeah.
because I be like burp,
Yeah,
burp,
yeah, that's the
burp,
energy,
burp,
bro.
burp.
That energy
Now
moving,
that
man.
makes sense.
Yeah,
That
that
makes
energy
sense.
moving. That energy
It'll
moving.
start with it because when I stretch, I try to go a minimum of 20 minutes, and it'll
Mm-hmm.
start within
Mm-hmm.
5 minutes,
Ooh.
and it just keeps going the whole
Mm-hmm.
time. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad I'm
Mm-hmm.
at home. I never
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
understood it.
Brother, if you stretch for 20 minutes, if you change your breathing and stretch for 20 minutes, you might start floating after a while. Because
You know what?
stretching, go ahead.
No, I'm just gonna say that's one thing that I do need to work on is perfecting my breathing right when I stretch.
Mm-hmm. So this is what I do. Learn to breathe right all the time. Make
Uh,
breathing a lifestyle. I'm a breath. I don't want to say breatharian because that's somebody that live on air, but I'm a. I believe in breathism, like being mindful of how am I breathing. When I'm mindful of how I'm breathing, whatever happens, I'm always in that breath. I'm always in that prefrontal cortex. I'm not in that traumatic part of my brain while I'm waiting for like I wish a motherfucker would. I don't want to be in that energy. I want to be
right.
peace. I want to be relaxed. Let me give you unconditional love. Let me love you for the essence of what you are. Not what you show me in the physical, but the essence of what you are. So I gotta be centered within myself when you come to me off balance, you know?
Man, hey, it's been a great show, and you alluded to a lot of great stuff. You broke down health and wellness to the macro, right? Um, so if viewers don't understand, they just probably need to rewatch this and get a beginning of understanding because there's so much more to it. We're only limited by a little while that we're
Hmm.
able to talk. So So as we get ready to close, go ahead and tell the viewers how to get in contact with you and any final comments or remarks that you want to make.
The first thing is my website, namasthethug.com. I have slots on there where you can get free 15-minute and 30-minute consultation. I have a SOS spot where you feeling like you want to hurt yourself or a voice talking to you. So you have a platform which is namasthethug.com, which is up here right now. That shows you kind of who I am and what I got going on. I'm on IG on namasthethug.com. I'm on YouTube at namasthethug.com. And what makes me such an enigma is I use my wounds, I use my experiences to help you move through yours, especially as an alpha male that's stuck in our ways as being overly masculine and not accepting our feminine side. We are masculine and feminine, both of them. We're looking for getting a major in masculinity and a minor in femininity, learning how to be flexible and sometimes learn how to be soft and sometimes and be hard in other times. And remember, the main thing is understanding how to breathe and how to truthfully communicate your emotions. It's okay not to be okay. If you're going through something, you need to have somebody or someone that you can call, that you can talk to be your true organic self without being judged, without being ridiculed or talked about. If you don't, it's not safe. So we're talking about your wellness, your emotional wellness. How are you emotionally within yourself? Your environment, is your environment clean? Is it loving? Is it welcoming? Is it supporting? Is it bright? Your finances, are your finances up to par? If my finances are, I can't feel comfortable within myself. Somebody asked me to go somewhere, my self-esteem might be messed up because my finances. My occupation, is your job fulfilling? Do you feel like you're doing what you're doing because you want to be or because you got to be? That can throw you off. Your intellectual property, what am I doing to feed my spiritual self within? What am I reading? What am I doing? What am I eating? What am I listening to? The sixth is my physical. Am I at least walking around my block sometime? Am I at least walking? Am I parking far enough to walk? Seventh is my social. What people do I deal with in my environment? Who do I talk to when I'm not being the so-called title or so-called something else? And the last thing but not least, my social wellness. How am I feeding my spirit? How am I talking to myself inside my head? Interpersonal communication, understanding what you are as a, it's not who you are, but what you are. A spiritual being, which is energy, which is pure consciousness, having a human experience. So look at ourselves as pure conscious, as energy, and not just carbon, not just the fleshly body. So I help you transform your brain by re-looking at your subconscious belief based on yourself. And our subconscious is our flesh. So helping you reprogram how you looking at yourself, how you talking to yourself, how you feeling within this body, help you love and appreciate yourself. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, before you finish all of that, you gotta remind everybody what the thug stand for again.
Oh, let me tell you, hold on, let me plug up right quick for my computer died. It just sold me a notice. Okay, there we go. So before we go, Thug stands for True Heart Under Guard. I gotta accept myself whole. And you see what I am. Yes, I am a thug, but we can resurrect that Christ within, and we can become that thug. We can become that actually true heart under God. That helps us reform. If we look in the book, if we look in, let's look at, because I like, I'm not a preacher or a pastor, but I teach. So if we look at, one second, if we look at I got power. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So yeah, I was in the streets, but if we look in Hebrews 7, verse 1, we look at Abram coming back from killing kings and queens. He got blessed by Melchizedek. Melchizedek blessed him, and he gave Melchizedek 10%. He blessed him as Abraham. So we got to look at how the Most High touches people and show the glory, how he can change you. I'm still a warrior, but I'm a warrior for the Most High. I'm spiritual thugging, true heart under God. So I'm here to bang for the Most High, man. Thugger, thugger, man. That spiritual gangster, man. Like we gotta accept ourselves. We can't cut no part of ourselves off. I'm a warrior, so I'm that thug, man. I'm just God's thug. I was doing the devil's work, and I changed that. Now I'm doing God's work. I experienced it. I didn't like it. Yeah, man. The resurrection of Christ, man. It's within us. I'm doing my part. I'm touching my people. You're doing your part. You're touching your people. The main core is waking people up to the divinity within. That's what we're here for. Is use our life as example to show the glory of the Most High that breathing everybody. All come from the same source. So I don't want to talk about religion because that's separation. Let's talk about love. Let's talk about spirituality. Let's talk about unity. Let's talk about love, man. Unconditional love, not based on premature judgment, not having all the facts and fiction of what's going on.
And I appreciate you breaking down everything that you broke out today. And you did a good job of explaining. And I knew that's why I wanted to get you on here. Because I knew you was going to break down that health and that wellness. That is your specialty. So thank you for accepting the invite. And thank you for sharing us into your knowledge and definitely being vulnerable, because you were vulnerable on a lot of aspects of it. So thank you very much.
Man, I appreciate you, my brother. You know what, man? Thank you for seeing me and allowing me to be me, man. That's so important, man. Like I'm not for everybody, nor do I want to be for everybody. So I'm for me. I'm for the people who have an open mind and an open heart. Because if you was blind, I want to know, could you still feel me? It's all about, do you feel me? You know what I'm saying? You feel me? Man, you know why I ain't asked you, man? Where your energy at, man? That's what's important, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. I got so in it, man. It's all about energy. It's all about frequency, man. It's about having fun. It's not about resistance. Like with willpower, we don't want to have resistance on our power line. We want to have full connection with source, not with the belief system resisting what's going on, man. Feel that power, man, and just be, just flow.
All right, man. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for being on the show.
All right, man. Peace.
Right. Man, as you can see, we broke down. Well, I say we, but he broke down that wellness and that health.
Hey, man. Thank y'all for tuning
I'm
in, man.
thankful that the thing for Black
We
History Month
here
is
just
health.
understanding what's going on behind the
That
scenes, just showing just the
from tradition
documentation of what's up, man. Where your
that
energy at? I'm off the
we have
set, I'm off
struggled
the
with,
scene, man. Hit me
and
up. What's going on
without
tonight? I need to
knowing
free
or
myself. I've
understanding
been
of it. So
being just
my prayer is
yeah,
that
already
we
Saturday
get
night. It's a Sabbath. It's free. Like,
focusing on our health,
what's
focusing on
up,
our
man?
health.
Holla at your boy, man. Namaste, thug.
I
Check
truly
the
believe
website out. We got merch
as
coming
we
up.
did at the beginning
There's
of the show, and
network.
I
There's
want to
politics.
emphasize
I got these
that I
every
am
last Saturday of the month. We're gonna have
thank you for tuning in to
clean
another
out your
episode
spiritual
of Freedom
closet.
Boat
That's what it's
Family.
called. Every last Saturday of the month, we're
This
gonna call
show,
clean
we
out your
actually have
spiritual
one more
closet,
Black
seeing
History
what we
show
got going on
coming
energetic
up
level that's
next
stopping us
week.
from maintaining that
For those of
greatness,
you
man.
again
Once again,
celebrate
love
Black
yourself
History
from the
Month
inside out,
and
man. Where your energy
Black
at?
History Family.
It's Saturday
Till next
night,
episode of Freedom Boat
baby.
Family,
Thugger,
be good
thugger.
family. I'm
True
one.
heart under
Low
God.
down peace to
If
your
nobody
heart.
didn't tell
And I
you,
always like to end
I
with
know
my
you
three
can do it.
principles.
I
One,
love
the
you
center of everything is
unconditional.
family.
Namaste,
Two,
thug.
be the
True heart
best
under
you
God.
that you can be. And
Peace.
three, it's called life. Live it.